This is the beginning of the podcast where we have nothing to discuss.
Nothing at all.
Nothing to discuss.
It's
Nope.
been a
If you're still
dry
listening,
week.
you're going to be disappointed. We should replay a best of. You know how, like, when DJs go on holidays, they have a best of week where they just replay shows that probably weren't even that good, but people listen to them again anyways because they don't want to switch their radio show in the morning and they need the comfort of the same voices. Perhaps Friday mornings are the same, and we should just start. We have 100 episodes. We should just start relaunching those episodes with different names.
Do you think there's
And
an AI out there that could pick out our greatest moments and put them into a?
I did that for our year end last
Yeah.
year, even though we were only alive for about 6 months or so there.
I do want to point out on this week's episode, I am drinking out of this tremendously huge cat mug that Caterpillar actually sent me when I criticized the cup holders in their excavators,
That's awesome.
which is making the water out of this mug just that much sweeter. Thanks, free cat mug. Not that I'll talk about specifics, but today I had to do like really shitty business owner stuff. It was like super shitty stuff, but it had to be done. It's just one of those days when, well, I'm not going to get into. It's a lot of lawyer stuff, so I'm not getting into it because I don't want to spread lawyer shit everywhere. But lawyer shit as a business owner fucking sucks ass, and I know so much about lawyer shit now that I never cared about before. But it's just sometimes you have to just watch out for yourself, and that just is what it is. And this fucking lawyer shit is, I fucking hate. It's like the only profession where it's not advantageous to actually fucking finish the job.
Landscaping is?
No, lawyering.
Oh.
Well, it's advantageous if you're a landscaper because you get paid and you're done. If you're a lawyer, you get paid and you're done. But if you never finish it, if you never end it, you just get paid and get paid and get paid and get paid some more. And then when you're done getting paid, you send 5 more emails and you invoice for them.
We're consulting in the office.
You never actually finish anything or doing it. We should have a lawyer on here because then that episode would go on for 2 years straight.
We'd have so much to pay them. They're hourly consulting.
Well, maybe they would come on because of all the listeners we have. They might get business from it. And then if we have them on enough, they could start their own podcast, Landscape Lawyer. You know,
wow, the landscape lawyer.
I've been trying to get a lawyer on the How to Hardscape podcast since I started the podcast.
How's that going for you?
It's rough. It's the hardest person to get on the podcast by far. As soon as I start talking about, like, first off, most of them don't respond to you because it's unpaid work, right? Mm-hmm. And lawyers don't like that. Second off, as soon as I start talking, like, part of our audience is either I'm reaching out to an American lawyer and I tell them that part of our audience is in Canada, or vice versa. They start thinking like, oh, okay, I don't want to start talking in specifics, and then I'm on the legalization of not being able to talk about certain things, and the
legalization of not being able to talk about certain things.
It's been a hot day. I have no idea how to talk.
It was hot as fuck today.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
My mind is not in the right being able to articulate myself here.
I was happy today after I did horrible things and made hard decisions that I felt like a sense of relief, and then I just started making random decisions again without really thinking about it, which is normally when I make the best decisions. If I hem and haw about something and really think about it, it normally turns out to be fucked. If I'm just like, this is what we're doing, move forward, generally it's good. Which is, I guess, an interesting trait, but I know that I'm in a bad place when I start thinking about decisions and not just doing things.
You don't wake up every morning.
That's when you know what the problem is? That's when I let positivity get a hold of me. When you're in a negative mindset, you just want to go forward. You just want to find more negativity and you just want to go forward into more negativity. And you're not, because you're so negative, you're not worried about negativity coming at you, so you can make clear-headed decisions. When you're full of this positivity crap that these positivity mongers on Instagram and Facebook are selling, that's when you come to indecision in your life. If you just focus on the negative, you can make quick, concise, accurate business decisions, in my experience. It's true. I'm way better when I'm negative. It's who I am as a person. I'm not a positive guy. Never have been.
As we've seen.
Well, I know. No one comes to this podcast to listen to my positive outcome or outlook on anything. I literally said 2 weeks ago, they're like, "Oh, when I'm 74, I want to be retired." I'm like, "When I'm 74, I want to be fucking dead. I want to be 74. Seems like it would suck ass." Like, specifically with me, I'm struggling at 50. I'm getting worried.
But you bought a new truck? That should be a... Did you not? Did you buy another hook truck?
Yeah. We have it in the yard.
A
That's
Volvo.
awesome. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I can find about 1,000 negative things about that if you want, but
About the truck? Yeah, let's dive.
well,
Let's go.
No, it just wasn't it's not a this is one of those decisions that you can make when you have a negative, clear mind. It's not a good time for us to buy a truck. It's a terrible, it's perhaps the worst time possible for us to be buying a truck. But when you have the clearness of negativity in your mind because you're trapped in a horrible time, you know that if you don't buy this truck now, you are putting yourself in a fuck show of more negativity later. Because you have to replace, if you're in the bin trucking business like we are, it's part of our business, then you need to have trucks that are viable moving forward that can pull bins for a rate that you can sell bins for.
Yes. Do you
And
think
so this truck can do that.
your negativity is sort of like a shield for bad times?
Probably.
Like,
Yeah.
you understand that you're in it and it could get really bad, but that's a coping mechanism for if it gets bad. You're like, I
That's
already
true.
told myself it was going to get bad. So here
Yeah.
I am in it and it's bad, but not maybe as bad as it could be.
I was talking to a young guy today who was like, "Man, I'm going to pack it in. This is so fucking shit this year." And I'm like, "Bro, this is fucking great, man. Don't worry about it. Next year will be better. Who cares how shit this is? This is super shitty. If it's shittier next year, you'll think about all the good times you had the year before. Can't give up now. What are you going to do?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." He was inspired through my negativity. I'm telling you, like, all these gurus, no matter what gurus, have been selling positivity for so long that it's wearing thin on everybody. I don't know if you guys have seen where like Oprah and The Rock were begging people to donate money to Hawaii. You guys seen that video?
Doesn't Oprah own a bunch of Hawaii?
She owns like half of one of the islands or something. And she had a private firefighting squad show up 2 days before the fire actually started to make sure her houses didn't burn down.
That's Oprah money. Wow.
Well, how it's Oprah money because you knew the fires were going to come.
You get a
Before
sprinkler
everybody
system, and
else.
you get a sprinkler system.
So her and The Rock there's a video of them on TikTok begging that everyone donate. They want to raise $10 million for the people in Maui or wherever it burned. I don't know all the names of it. I think at least one of the things that burned was Maui and
Lanai?
Lanai. And so all these people are like ripping them apart going, "You're worth $2.5 billion. That's like you giving $10 million to Hawaii is like me buying a chocolate bar." Like, it would have the same amount of effect on our lives. But you're here begging broke American people to give you $10 million to give to these people so you can talk about how you're donating $10 million. I don't know. It's a whole thing. But I think that people are sick of that. If Oprah just came out and said, "Listen, I need $2.5 billion to survive. I don't care if you can't afford McDonald's. Send me some money," she'd get a better reaction.
Yeah. I can understand that. Is she going to match their 10 million at least?
I have no idea. I don't know that much. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a lot of time or patience for anything, Oprah.
Wow.
I
You
know
read
when
more about it than I did.
well, it's all over my TikTok account
Oh,
because it's all right wing people ripping her apart and bashing her. So my TikTok account is all right wing shit. So that's what I see.
your freedom TikTok.
I'm freedom TikTok. Welcome to freedom TikTok.
Um,
Welcome.
I had a moment today. My partner and I and one of our foremen drove up to Brockville. We have a bridge job to do there with a big civil contractor. And we're standing at the top of this bridge, looking down at the giant slope down the side of the bridge. And my partner goes, "How the fuck are we going to topsoil this job?" And I said, "Well, I just figured we'd take the 14-ton shovel and just throw this topsoil off the side and let it fall down the hill and grade itself out." He's like, "Do you think that's a really good idea?" I said, "That's the best idea I could come up with. So when I priced this job, I didn't look at it." So, um, he was pretty negative about the whole thing, but I think we're just gonna have to dive in and do it. Like, I don't know
Can't you
what
just get a blower truck, blow it in?
there's 625 cubic meters of it. So if we had a slinger on it, it would be a week of slinging. That probably $200 an hour or whatever, 20 grand to sling it. I figure we can do it for 10 if we just back the trucks up to the side of
I
the
I
mountain and shoot it down.
I feel like this is definitely if you had a tilt rotator, you could get this done.
Um,
There's a 14 ton of a tilt rotator.
Not this one, no.
Wow, why would you even bother going to work then?
Well, it's not my 14-ton shovel. If it were my 14-ton shovel, it would have a tilt rotator.
Why don't you
But
buy one?
at $250,000, I'd say I don't have the means to float a 14-ton shovel
You
at
could
this
call
point.
me. I'll go float it.
You have that little work that you're willing to float my shovel from
No,
Cornwall to Rockville.
our trucks are very busy.
That's awesome.
You want to know one thing I learned today?
That's,
I learned that when you're talking about hydroseed, you should actually measure the space.
absolutely, you should.
Yeah, I didn't.
Absolutely, you should.
I did not do that. So I did today. So the space is 50 meters by 70 meters.
Okay, 3,500 meters,
Is that what that is? I don't know.
or is that 350 meters? No, I think that's 3,500 meters.
3,500 square
Yeah,
meters.
yeah. So,
So so what do you charge
um,
to me
well,
in
uh,
Ajax?
it depends on your seed mix, your sowing rate,
Yeah, I need some cheap.
your type of
I
mulch.
need some cheap seed.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into this
There's no requirement for anything.
for
So let's
anything.
roll as cheap as possible.
Okay. So do you want it to be
Does
green
it
this
help you?
year,
Does it?
or do you want it to be green forever? Because they mean different things. Some people say just make it green, and you'll say I can make it a violent shade of green until November, and after that, you get what you get in the spring. Uh,
I think that would probably be fine because I said
I
no
would-
warranty on the hydro seed.
okay, so you want a straight ryegrass, which luckily is the cheapest grass seed you can buy.
Because it doesn't live more than 1 year.
Well, it shoots up fast in almost any condition, and it it's what they also use ryegrass as a nurse crop. So say you're putting in these really expensive blends that take forever to come in, like a wildflower mix or something like that. You'll use the ryegrass as a nurse crop, and you'll put that in the mix. And when you spray it, the ryegrass will come up and shield all the nice
Weeds.
flowers until they have. Sometimes it takes a winter to crack the seed husk on a wildflower mix, and it won't come up for a year or 2 years, or it needs to be burnt off or something like that. Like there's a people way smarter than me figured out how this stuff germinates. And I
And
just
none of
hand the
it
pamphlet
works,
and
and
none
it
of it
all
works. But
turns
at least
into
now I have the documentation to prove that if it doesn't work, it's not my fault.
That's true.
Right. So if you
So
want cheap as you can get,
the seeding rate I got was 90 cents a square meter.
I'm matching a job at that rate just to pull it out from someone else in our market, because I'm so personable and nice to work with that
Well,
they'd
obviously.
rather give me the job than someone else. But
So my problem is I did not measure this space, and I only allowed $2,500 for this, and this is not going to cost $2,500.
I can lend you my cedar if you want to come down and pick it up.
I don't think that will help me, because I think that will lead me down a pit of disaster and probably end up costing me more than just getting the person to seed it for 9 cents a
You're
square
probably
meter.
right.
Oh, I think I just fucked it up.
Yeah.
So you're saying that's a fair. I am not in no way saying whether it's a fair price or not, because I don't have any idea. But I felt like it seemed fair.
It's
And
on the low end of things.
I felt like the space is much bigger than I allowed for, so that's my fault. And that's what happens, kids, when you don't measure things and you quote things. But when I looked at this and this whole shit was happening to me today, my negativity let me realize it wasn't the worst shit that happened to me that day. So it was bad shit, but it wasn't the worst shit. So the really negative shit pulled me through this and made me realize I don't really care about the hydro seeding that much. This is one of the first times one of these first sort of soil spreading things we did. I obviously didn't quote it properly, which is fine. That's on me. Other than this, the job went really smoothly, other than me fucking it up, which is about how everything goes. So, I mean, it was on par for the course. But so you're saying this, I should jump on this and go for it as soon as possible.
Well, the price isn't going to go down, I don't think. I think
No.
at 90 cents a square foot or a square meter, you are scraping the bottom of what hydro seed costs.
So I also only measured this space by pacing it off today.
That's fine though. How tall are you?
Well, I'm 6 feet.
Oh, so you got about a meter stride.
I should.
I think that's the perfect landscape height. So I'm a little short.
Also, you got to take a jump.
I got to take a big step to make my meter.
A big step. So I started taking, as I realized the error of my ways, I took much larger steps. So I made it feel better in my mind.
Oh, so it could be even more than 3,500.
Oh, it could be even worse. Yeah. Because as I was walking, and I thought, this is way over the minimum, motherfucker. And I was walking, and I walked a shorter distance and got to 40 meters. I thought, well, or 47 meters. I thought, well, that's not good. So when I walked the other one, I took much larger strides and still got to 70 meters. So Kelly thinks I should get the wheel out of the garage and keep it with me and maybe start wheeling off these things so I can do more accurate estimates.
That's smart. I have two wheels. Yeah.
I said to her, I've been doing it this way for 35 years and look at what it's got us.
I've been losing money for 35 years, so I'm not going to stop now.
So anyways, that's the story of the hydro seed with me today. But whatever. I do think that I will start the wheel. I did it interestingly yesterday. Was it yesterday? So I looked at infilling a pool. Someone called me about pool infill. I thought, oh, this is something we could do. God knows I don't want to build pools. So maybe we could destroy them. But it's not as easy as it seems. And but when I was doing the estimate, I did it half with Fuck. Sorry, my phone's going off. Jesus. When is that guy coming on for coaching? I feel like we're filling this whole episode with all the fucking things that I fucked up today. Anyway, I did a quote that was half. I used the man hours I thought it would take, and I punched them into Mike's program, which accurately gave me my cost on my man hours with everything broken out. But then I didn't know how to add my own materials into that. So I did my materials on a piece of paper, and then I added it all together, and then I did a quote that way. And I thought it was actually not a bad way. The combined quote.
The combined quote.
It's a combined quote. Yeah, it's half on a yellow piece of paper, half on a computer. I haven't figured out how to put it into my file folder yet because it's half and half. I was thinking about getting some floppy disks and throwing those motherfuckers in there and then stapling them to the fucking papers. So, but anyways, what did you guys fuck up today?
Sort of along those lines, I didn't fuck anything up, but the hydroseed price that we have for this giant mountain side of a bridge job, I called to confirm pricing, and they said, "What's the sowing rate?" And I told them 170 kilos per hectare, which is for about 7 times the standard rate. And they said the seed for this job is going to cost you $12,000. Is that
shit.
okay? And I said, yep, because we priced seeding this job at $60,000. So I'll take that all day long. Like,
Nice.
Wow, that's some seeding job. And I said, while you're at it, give me 30 bags of standard MTO roadside mix. I got another seeding job coming up too. So
Cornwall loves the seeding, eh?
They love seeding. Yeah, it's gonna be a busy fall for seeding.
Is there like a lot of fields of ragweed in Cornwall where there was seed at one time?
I try not to drive by any of my jobs like that. I don't really want to see what they look like. I send the guys out to spray them, so sometimes they don't even know where we're spraying. I say, the GC called, they want us to spray here. Go talk to this person. And they go out and they'll spray for the day. And I said, how was it? They said, it went good, or man, it was okay. I found out this year that one of my guys dropped a box cutter, like a yellow Olfa knife, into the hydroseeder last year, and it went through the fucking hopper and got clogged in the hose, and that's what took them all day to spray one load of seed, because different pieces of this knife kept getting lodged in the fucking pipe. And whenever he was dumping the bale, he dropped the knife in the hopper.
Oh, man.
And there's no way to get it, right? Because it's a green slurry and you can't see anything in there. And so it clogged up. Yeah. So you can't even reach in because the hopper is spinning, and then it gets sucked through the tube. And I remember I'm like, how did the machine ever get clogged 6 times in one load? And they didn't tell me until this year that it was because they dropped the knife in there. So I'm trying to think of like, well, we got to change the way we're mixing things. Like maybe it's the straw that we're putting in. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the seed was bad or something and things are clogging up, or do we need a new hose or what? Like, no, they dropped the fucking knife in it. And that was it. So anyway, human error on my part, on my guy's part.
Well, it's good that they felt confident enough to tell you a year later.
I think they only told me by accident.
A year later.
I think they were talking amongst themselves. Yeah. They forgot they never told me. And then
they totally forgot that they weren't telling. Yeah, that they forgot that they weren't that they never told you, and then they remembered. That's why I don't lie a lot about a lot of stuff, because I'm terrible at fucking that.
Yeah, but
have the
Who do
brain
you have to
capacity.
cover for? You are the boss.
Oh, I just mean in general life.
Well,
Like I try to avoid all that shit. Like, because I would just call, even when I was like there, like, if I was the one spraying it, I would have called you up and said, "Hey, there's a knife lodged in the hopper. What the fuck do you want me to do about it?" Because what are you gonna do?
well, what do you do, right? Like I try and get them to make more decisions on their own, and hopefully they're the right decisions.
Do you
But,
feel like what you should do is get a no knives in the hopper sign made up and
That's a
stick
new
it,
policy.
stick it on the, make up a new policy for it constantly.
whenever I was in early university, I took a job. No, maybe it was high school. I took a job like at a park, and they had just opened this park. It had been closed for 20 years, whatever, right? So we renovated the gatehouse and all this stuff. And the lady that was in charge, she's like, we need a sign for this and that. Like, there ended up being fucking 40 signs. She wanted a sign for every different kind of animal and bird and rabbit and everything down the laneway on the entranceway to get into the park.
Is
And I
it a petting zoo?
no, it was like a regular camping park. Like you pitch your tent for a weekend or whatever at like a regular campsite.
So what was the sign for like there was a mongoose, and so you made a
Well,
mongoose
there
sign
was
and
like a rabbit, like danger
Geese.
rabbits or something, or snakes and turtles crossing and shit like that.
turtles
And I
cross.
remember the the guy in charge of the whole thing, he came down the lane one day. He's like, "What the fuck is with all the signs here? We got to get rid of these signs. This is a nature park." He was so embarrassed. She was spending like thousands of dollars of the company money just to put up these fucking nature signs.
Did you have to make the signs or just put them
No,
up?
no, they went out professionally to be made by
Oh my god.
whoever makes signs, like
It's a good thing Chad's policy for dropping things in the hopper is not the same as PK's policy for dropping pavers in a pool. Dive in there before they hit the bottom.
oh, there's a no hands or feet in the hopper policy. It has a cage on it, like a shield that prevents you from falling in the hopper. But in order to effectively put the cube of mulch in the hopper, you have to lift the cage, and it's kind of dangerous.
Ooh.
So you can either bust up the cube and let it fall through the big holes, or you can lift the cube or lift the cage and dump the whole cube in.
What
And
does OSHA recommend?
I'd say that cage has to stay closed.
Yeah.
I doubt you're ever supposed to have that cage open unless the machine is off and disconnected somehow. But if I don't see it, it's not my problem. So
I've got a topic of conversation when we get to talking about OSHA, but this might be after our little coaching call here in 5 minutes because it might take some time. But we did get a question come in that could be a good filler here while we wait for 5 minutes. Somebody asked, maybe this hasn't come up, but I've wondered a few times how the three of you ended up on a podcast when you didn't know each other.
I
The
don't know how you
internet.
guys did it.
The internet.
The internet.
That's the truth.
How did you two hook up? Because I was probably the afterthought. Like I had
Yeah.
no idea that. Like, why would anybody want me on a podcast?
Well, I feel like it's been pretty successful.
Well, yeah, I
I'm
know,
defending
but
my choice
yeah,
of you.
great idea on your part, but
I'm defending our choice of you.
like I don't know the origin story either. Like, what's yeah.
I think I messaged Mike about it and said we should have a podcast where three people just shoot the shit about business and landscaping, and it's not like super planned, and it's not necessarily productive or helpful.
Or no value. I think I messaged PK, why haven't you started a podcast yet? And then he messaged me back, well, I want to talk to you about that. And then 6 months went by and nothing happened.
That sounds like me. Yeah, that sounds 100% like
And
me.
then I think he called me up and he talked about the idea or whatever, and I think it kind of went from there. But it was
And then
all PK's idea from everything.
no, you said, why don't I have a podcast?
Yeah, didn't you have a podcast?
I didn't think there was room for negativity in podcasting. Fucking wrong. And then I said, and then we said we need 3 to make it work right.
And you
And
picked a
then-
name out of a hat.
No, we had just done a couple podcasts with you on the How to Hardscape rooms.
Yeah,
I think that one of the main things that PK brought up was we need somebody on the podcast who's not afraid to talk about burning plastic in their yard.
Yeah, I figured that was probably
We had
something
some
to do
good
with it.
I feel like the 3 of us had some pretty good exchanges on some of Mike's earlier podcast roundhouses, and that was why. And I knew that you had almost gotten sued for your big mouth when maybe I worked at a
This guy's gonna be great.
manufacturer.
This guy's
So I
gonna
thought,
be
oh,
great.
that guy's going to be perfect. Maybe he'll get sued before. Maybe he'll get us sued before me.
So the goal was to get sued in the early
Well, the goal was.
episodes.
I think part of the problem is so this is a problem with everything that I do. I feel like there isn't a goal. Like what is the goal?
Yeah, there's.
But now I feel like we can focus on the spread of negativity.
Definitely not getting sponsorships.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
It's a tough sell.
Is it, or have we just aren't willing to capitulate?
Yeah, I've always had a problem with trying to ask for things.
Here's a moral question. Would you promote something on this podcast that you do not use? That you do not personally use?
We almost did.
Well,
No, I use that personally,
well,
so
I
I
know.
wasn't worried about it. No, but you
I-
could have got one.
Yeah, I suppose. No, they don't ship across the border.
I think
No,
as long as
I
one
have
of
them.
3 of us use it.
What do you think? I smuggled them?
I don't know.
I have them. The guy are on our fucking.
Yeah.
They're on our orange things that we periodically use to section things off into smaller pieces. Orange things.
But for Mike's, that's red for you, Mike.
Yeah, it's red for you.
Oh.
You
And yours
sometimes
has-
leave it in your client's garage.
And you have wheels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm just saying that item in particular, I legit have some background with. For me, maybe not for you. Maybe that's
I
why
would
you were.
use them if they were given to me. But we just buy whatever comes from the landscape retailer.
Well, that's why I'm using this cat mug. It was given to me.
Yeah.
It's also stupidly huge. I was hoping it would hold enough water. Like, I don't know who needs to consume this much coffee. It's like a half a pot.
I got a pretty big mug too, but
Wow.
I had to pay for my own. So that's the origin story.
That's the origin story and then Mike and I asked you, and then you said yes, which was awesome.
Yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate
And then
that.
we procrastinated recording the first episode for at least 4 weeks.
I didn't think we were going to get it off the ground.
And then we recorded an episode.
We recorded, and then it took like 4 weeks to record another one.
And then I had terrible sound, and that was
That's right.
That wasn't good. That happened. Yeah. That's the origin story. How did we end up on a podcast? I think the fact that we live in 3 different places makes it interesting. Well,
Yeah.
Mike works in Kitchener. Maybe Mike and I live sort of similar places, but Mike doesn't come to my area.
3 different places, but still in the same province.
This is a big province, though.
It is.
So, I mean, those are vastly different. I mean, we saw the pizza that came out of Cornwall.
Yeah.
It was vastly different than Oshawa pizza. So, what time is this person coming on? Because it's 8:15.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 8:15. Maybe we
Is
got
he waiting in
ghosted.
the wings?
No.
We got ghosted.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
I
I
love
don't know.
that.
It's 8:15 right on the dot. We don't know.
That's what
Isn't
we
that
deserve
fitting?
that.
We deserve that.
Yeah.
We do deserve that. It is fitting. We could. I mean, I have a lot of like things that we could do. So
Oh,
that I feel like were interesting and engaging before. And I think the audience enjoyed them. Okay. We can let's look up what our favorite podcaster. Whoops. There, see? Can you guys hear that? No.
no.
Okay, whatever. All right,
Sounded
let's
like
see.
a guitar.
Well, it was. Let's see what our favorite podcaster's been talking about. Episode 396. Careful what you say.
Oh, yeah, I listened to that one yesterday.
Well, what was it about? Oh, discussing
Not
how choosing your words carefully when interacting with clients can help avoid misunderstandings and conflicts down the road. Let's talk about that,
Whose podcast is that?
Caleb.
Oh, okay.
Let's relive Caleb's podcast. What did Caleb say about this, Chad? That way, maybe we could
I think
be
he
more
was
valuable.
talking about how his client said that he would plant some shrubs for them, but he only gave it as an option, but they took it as, oh, you're planting these shrubs, right? And so he was
I've
on the
had that
hook
happen before.
for 5 shrubs, and which is kind of shitty, but the natural design solution is just fucking put in the shrubs without the
That's a,
the email chain that goes on and says, well, how about this? And I'm gonna eat it right there. I'm gonna put that fire out. I got way more important stuff to do than worry about 5 fucking shrubs.
what do you
Not
do
that
if
it
it's 25 shrubs?
um
How many shrubs does it get to
how
before
many shrubs did it get to before it's too many?
before you address it? This is an interesting
How,
topic because, like, so
what's
for Caleb, obviously it was 5 shrubs and he addressed
yeah,
the topic. What is it for Chad?
what's this the entire scope of the job? I think that you have to take that into consideration, right? Like, is it a $5,000 patio with 5 shrubs, or is it a $50,000 patio with 5 shrubs?
That's true.
Because I can source 25 pretty cheap shrubs if I'm doing $100,000 patio.
What if they believe
You
the
know?
shrubs to be here? Well, here's one. What if everything says you're putting in a red blood good Japanese maple tree, but then you don't really handle the shrubs, and your landscape designer, who wears a lot of green, goes to the nursery and can't find a red Japanese maple she's happy with, so she buys a green one, and you don't fucking know because it's not your deal, and you put it in even though it's part of your contract. So you put in this green tree, and then the homeowner rejects it and sends you 5,000 emails about this fucking green Japanese maple tree that you never picked out until you finally get sick of it and say, go get a red tree and rip it out at your own cost and put it in. What do you guys think about that scenario?
Why
Not that
don't
it's ever happened.
after the first email, hand it over to the lady who wears too much green and say, "This is your problem. You put
I
out the
did.
fucking fire."
I did. But then
And
it got heated because the green tree was beautiful. It was beautiful and it deserved to live and it deserved that place because it was such a beautiful, wonderful tree. And I eventually was like, listen, I need to stop talking about this. I don't give a fuck. And I think I went and personally hacked it down with an axe myself and fucking replaced it with the red tree. Actually, I think I did it myself too because I was just so fucking frustrated by this. Because I was like, I don't care because that tree was like $400.
yeah,
That was an expensive tree. But okay, so let's build a scenario. $50,000 patio,
okay,
5 shrubs, yes or no?
yes,
10 shrubs, yes or no?
yes.
15 shrubs, yes or no?
Now I ask what type of shrubs, and can I substitute something cheaper to make it work?
Okay. We're looking for natural shrubs.
Aren't they all natural? What the fuck
No,
is it?
native shrubs.
No,
We're looking
okay,
for native shrubs. We're looking for 15 gray dogwoods.
Dogwoods are cheap. Put them in.
How much
Okay.
are they per?
$12.
Do you want the nursery price or do you want retail price?
Retail.
$25, $30.
Nursery price is $12. $13. I haven't bought a dogwood in a long time, to be fair, so I don't know. Are they more than that, Chad?
No,
Nursery
nurse-
price for a gray dogwood. $12, $13?
Yeah, I'd say. But then you're getting them wholesale with an order of
Okay.
giant trees and everything, right? It depends on the time of the year they're doing this patio too. If it's tree season and I'm getting a load every second week, everybody, I'm Oprah, everybody gets a fucking gray dogwood.
Like an armor
Everybody
stone.
gets-
But yeah,
Everybody gets a gray dogwood.
you know.
Everyone gets a gray dogwood and 5 yards of screen soil from my yard.
That's no problem. I'm handing them out.
So-
but if it's midsummer, it's a different story.
Here we go. So you're yes to 15 gray dogwoods on $50,000 patio?
Yeah, think about that. At $20 a piece, right?
Yeah, but you also got to dig a garden, put soil around them. Are you mulching it?
Oh yeah, I'm doing it all.
You're doing it all. So it's not $20 a shrub.
So that's going to cost
Probably
me
$100 a shrub.
that cost me $1,500 at the end of the day
Fair.
to do everything.
I think $1,500 is a fair estimate.
Yeah. But, and this has been my thing for the last 5 years, we'll do shit like this for homeowners and then make it up somewhere on a commercial job. Somewhere where shit doesn't have to be 150% beautiful. We can cut a corner there, somewhere where it's not going to notice.
Like buy 45 mil trees instead of 50.
I've never done that because I always have to hand in the packing slip for the trees. But I could see how you would do something like that.
That's a more coordinated effort.
It's
Not that I've ever coordinated an effort like that.
Yeah. There are other ways to do.
Okay, so you're saying essentially what you're saying is you're good up to $1,500 on a because it doesn't matter whether it's shrubs or $1,500 to end the pain. That's your level on a $50,000 job.
I would probably go higher than that, but if that's what gets me into the good graces, done, sign the check, I'm out of here, then I'm happy with that.
So
I've
that's
taken bigger
3%.
hits. I've taken bigger hits on commercial job for shit that I shouldn't have, right? Like, it goes back to the thing you said. As soon as you put a shovel in the ground, you start losing money.
Yeah.
Right? So if that stops the bleeding, that $1,500 stops the bleeding right there, that's what that makes sense to me.
I would probably put the shrubs in, but I would make it clear in repetitive emails and voice communication and a smoke signal, these fuckers are not warranted. If these fucking 15 shrubs die, do not call me. Never talk to me again about these 15 shrubs.
Yeah.
And if the lights go out in the middle of your patio, also don't talk to me. Because I wouldn't have put them there.
Night patio.
I wouldn't have put them there, and you should call the landscaper that did. Don't call me about that shit. I don't want to know about it. I don't care about it. I don't fucking. So you're saying for me, it would become situationally dependent upon how do I get along with this client? If this client is someone that I need to get the fuck away from, I would be like, sure. Slamming these 15 shrubs, never talk to me again. If this client is someone who, maybe seems a bit more reasonable, then maybe I don't know. It does become situational and level of frustration for me. And how much do we need to just get off this property? I think all of that stuff comes into play when I think the original topic of being careful what you say is definitely something that
I'm just as inclined to plant those shrubs for the super nice client as I am for the guy who I can't wait to get away from. Because the super nice client's been agreeable for other changes. And
what about the middle? I
know?
agree with your point. I think this is a very good point, Chad. Totally agree with you. What about the middle of the road client? the one that you sort of like, but sort of don't, that's been a dick on Tuesday, but nice on Wednesday, brings a pizza out on Friday, sends you a passive aggressive email Saturday morning at 6:30. Like, what do you plant the 15 shrubs for that client?
That's the hardest. The hardest
That's the
type of
hardest client.
right? That's
Yeah,
the hardest
I
client.
totally agree with you.
Like you
The
can't
dick,
tell if you like them or not.
yeah.
If they gave you more work, would you take it or would you
No.
walk? Like that's the worst type.
Anyone who sends me an email on Saturday morning never gets. Once their job is over, I'll never respond to them
Oh,
again.
I've done that. Some guy asked for when we were going to do his pool surround after his passive aggressive FLO email on a Saturday morning, which said he was withholding money until the problem was sorted out. I'm like, forget you. I'm never coming back. I don't care what your pool surround. You're holding my money hostage. Fuck off.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
But that's the only power that they really have. What do you want them to do? I'm being devil's advocate. I think you're getting fucked, but I'm just saying, what do you like in that situation? You're the homeowner. There's effluent all over your patio. The contractor has referred you to the manufacturer. The manufacturer rep has hurried out, looked at them and said, "What do you want me to do about it?"
No, they've just sent the letter, the same
letter,
the proprietary letter that shows, oh, this happens all the time. It'll go away on its own after you spend $100,000 on fucking beautiful pavers that you pay.
What do you do if you're that homeowner? All you have left is the money that you owe the contractor.
Yeah, but if I pick the product as the homeowner, I have to take the responsibility that, because it's not the landscaper's fault that the fucking pavers are turning white.
What if you recommended the product?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying hypothetically.
I
got super offended there. I didn't though.
I remember the exact fucking client, and I can't stand the guy. I won't even drive down his fucking road.
And there's only so many roads in Cornwall.
I did it.
No.
There's only so many roads in Cornwall.
This guy lives
driving down one of them. He's basically cut off half his routes through the city.
No, he lives out of town. You're listening to my brother-in-law. But no, because the whole project, I remember I'm like, this is a stupid product. This is a stupid wall system. Why the fuck am I installing them together? And I know it's going to bite me in the ass somewhere. And it came back. It was the FLO that bit me in the ass. I'm like, this isn't even my fault. Just pay me my money. So.
So I used to say to people, if you pick from this manufacturer, this manufacturer, this manufacturer, and you have a problem, I will aggressively deal with it. If you pick from any manufacturer that isn't one of those three, don't ever fucking call me about your problems with the pavers. And then I would set them free to pick. Sorry, I said I have good relationships with these three manufacturers. I have great experiences with these three manufacturers dealing with problems. And these are the three manufacturers that if you have a problem, I'm willing to go to bat for you because I know they're good people. They always deal in a good way with me. They're friendly. They have good policies. They've done right by me in the past. Pick from these three. And I mean, you're not limiting these people here. Like between those three manufacturers, they probably make 200 products by the time you factor in all the colors. This isn't like saying pick from these gray rectangles that are 4x8 or fuck you. This is when you give people a selection of three manufacturers, that's a pretty lot of array of stuff they could pick from. And then if you pick from anyone else, don't ever fucking call me. I've had people pick from other people and then things go bad and then call me. And I'm like, do you remember? Don't ever fucking call me. I hung up. Bang. Later. I don't know these people. I've never met them. I don't know the rep's fucking number. I'm not dealing with this. I don't give a shit. I told you not to do this. You did it anyways. Not my fucking problem. Go to the supplier. Talk to them.
Yeah. We only have three companies to choose from here anyway. So, but
I saw
retailers are pretty good.
I saw how you fucked up the grade on that Twinkie.
How I fucked up the grade on the Twinkie?
Yeah, like all the other pavers around it were level, and the Twinkie was
Yeah.
flat.
Yeah, I
So I don't
know.
know what you did to
We
the
have a
grade below that
problem.
Twinkie. It's like
Usually,
you're grading and then leaving out these little rectangles that are sinking down. What the
yeah.
fuck you guys are doing?
Must be
Whenever
a
we put them
sinkhole.
down, because we're doing it like tile, right? Where we put one down and we sort of level it, and then put the next one down and level it, and we go the whole patio like that. And it's
Why would you do that?
isn't that how you build walls, Mike?
Who?
Yeah, that's a
Which
PK.
wall.
Mike? Oh,
What? Why is it different?
So you're
Why is
saying you guys lay pavers, then check every one and level them.
I was joking.
Oh, I thought you were being serious. I was like,
No,
wow,
no.
okay, Bob Vila.
We screwed screwed out the whole base like a normal landscaper,
Yeah.
and then put the pavers down.
So why did you stomp on the Twinkies over and over again and make them settle down every single one?
I didn't. That was part of
Part of a perhaps
perhaps
manufacturer's
a
defect.
manufacturer's defect. Yeah.
You see, that's a case where you recommended the pavers.
No, I recommended a substitute for the same shitty paver company because I couldn't make the switch off out of that company.
Oh,
a younger
I-
Chad would have shouted out that company in the story.
Yeah.
oh, a younger Chad would have for sure.
And
Absolutely.
we all would have been subpoenaed to come to court, and PK would have to save us. Please don't sue us.
I would save you.
I think so.
Oh.
I think you'd save us all.
I
I
got
think
a lot
we're
of
all in this
experience with
together.
lawyers now.
We're all in the same.
I got a
pot
lot of
here.
lawyer experience, baby. I am chock full of lawyer experience now. I haven't been involved in any lawyer problems basically my whole career
Until now.
until now. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's fucking great. It's perfect.
You look happy.
My negativity is letting me know that this is just a learning experience. So next time when I go into it, I'll feel really negative about it because I'll know how shitty it is this time.
Do they give you any sort of guidelines about when you should expect to be paid, or
No.
no, nothing? They
Well, because you can't sell
I
the
don't
bill.
know.
You can't send billable emails then.
No,
I
but like
don't think they know because it's just this endless back and forth bullshit. Like it's just
yeah,
it's
it really
it's
doesn't matter
crazy.
to them, I guess, right?
Well, they don't. Yeah, they don't. And the
They don't
more
care.
bullshit that happens, the better. There's
Yeah.
no right solution to the problem. So
Which is the opposite of any contracting job you'd ever want to take, right?
Yeah.
The more shit that goes wrong for a contractor, the worse it gets, the better for a lawyer it gets.
well, it's like a marriage. You fight about property for so long that you end up with none of it.
I don't have experience there.
Me neither.
Thankfully.
Well, I don't have any experience fighting about it. I didn't fight about it. Here, have all this shit. I don't want it. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Dog, truck, goalie equipment. Out the door. Baby.
That's what you took?
That's what I took.
Hmm.
Those are the necessities.
Is the dog still around?
No. That dog passed away like 10 years ago.
Hmm.
I was an old dog then.
She was a
good dog.
manufacturer?
No. It was a mutt. I don't know who manufactured it. It was a mutt.
We're picking up our dog Saturday.
Saturday?
Durham region, yeah.
Where in Durham region?
I don't know.
You know.
I got to be there for 11 o'clock in the morning. How far is
You
Durham
know.
region from Cornwall? 3 hours? 3.5 hours?
3.5 hours, probably something like
Yeah.
that.
That's
Gonna
not
be
all
there
that
for
far.
11?
Yeah. So
I don't know so you have to be there, you have to be in Durham region at 11 to get a dog?
Yeah.
You don't know where in Durham region though?
Gig. Do you know where in Durham region we're picking up Estelle?
Estelle?
That's the name of the dog.
Ooh, I
Estelle.
already got a name for it.
Yeah.
Paisley
Named
has
after-
soccer in Burlington till 11 o'clock. I won't be back in time to see the dog.
No clue. Oh, I guess we'll find out.
What are you gonna call the dog? L?
No, Estelle is the dog's name.
I know, but are you gonna call it L?
I don't know. I think we'll call it Estelle. What's short for Estelle?
L.
Oh, you little bitch. I don't know. I don't know. I'll let you know what we call it the first time it shits on the floor.
Did you name the dog or did they name the
Yeah.
dog?
No, we named the dog. It's after George Costanza's mother.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
How's the other dog gonna handle a small dog?
My other dog wishes he was always the only dog. Like he's a grumpy old man. He's
How
like
old is
me.
he?
He's me in dog form. He's 12.
Oh, wow.
We have the same birthday, actually.
Wow.
So
Did you get
Yeah.
the dog based on having the same birthday?
no,
That
I had
big factor of buying a dog.
I
It's gotta have
reserved
my
him.
birthday.
I reserved him ahead of time, and it just happened he came out on my birthday, and so
Well, didn't the whole litter come out on the birthday?
yeah. Well, I'm not sure how close it was to midnight, but yeah, I'd assume they all came out.
The midnight factor.
Yeah,
So do you know for sure that this dog wasn't born in 1201 and they just lied to you to make it seem more advantageous that it happened on your birthday?
they didn't know my birthday. How would they know my birthday?
I don't know what the forms are that you fill out to get these dogs. Some people are pretty intense about who they give dogs to.
Yeah, not this then. If you had the money, you were getting a dog. And actually,
If you
the breeder upsold me on the second dog, the little girl dog that I got a year later. She's like, "Oh, we got another one. She's got the same patch as the one you have. Like, no one's taken her yet. Do you want her?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know if I can afford it." She's like, "You can pay in payments, no problem."
Wow.
I'm
you
like,
bought your
okay.
dog in payments,
Financed.
Yeah, it was around the time I was starting my business. I didn't have a ton of
was there
money left
interest
over.
payments?
No, no,
They
no
charge
interest.
compound on the dog?
No, no. But I did
What do
run.
you think of what do you think? And I'm just throwing this out here loosely based. What do you think that someone like Andy Mulder would think of the fact you buy your dog on payments?
I don't know. Probably not much. I think
Just saying, he's all about paying cash for everything. I wonder if dogs.
Dave Ramsey would hang his head in shame.
Well, but
If
you
you
weren't
can't
paying,
afford to pay for the dog, you can't have a dog.
like, realistically, if you weren't paying interest on the dog, that's not a bad way to pay for it. Was there a service charge to set up the payment program?
No, there was none.
Well, then that's not a bad way to pay for it. Do you think if you were paying $2,000 for the dog and you had brought 1,500 cash, do you think you could have saved 500 on the dog?
I might have probably, but I'm not that type of person who.
Says I
What's
got
that?
cash.
Where's
Is there a
Blackstock?
Blackstock is north of that's so you're gonna get off at Highway 57, Bowmanville Avenue, and you're
Okay.
gonna go north. And you're gonna go north for about 20 minutes, and then you'll be in Blackstock.
Right.
I was
All
just in
right.
Blackstock today.
Should have picked up my dog.
Maybe your dog's coming
Floated
from
your dog.
Blackstock.
Could have loaded the dog home.
Floated the dog. So
Wait, let's circle back here for a second to
Sure.
our $50,000 patio with the 15 shrubs, right?
Okay.
So I was thinking about this. Mike, you said it was 3% of the total cost of the job?
Yeah.
So if a client wants to pay credit card to you, you're eating shit on a 3% service charge, right? Would you rather put in that plant material for them or let them pay by credit card?
But if I'm taking credit card, I've got that built into the price anyways.
Because you're better than I am.
No.
If you thought like me, what would you rather do? Because there's no 3% extra. I can only go down 3%.
The last
right?
person that wanted to pay us with a credit card, I charged them more.
Yeah. Which I understand you can do now, but before you couldn't do that, right? Like that only
No, I don't know. I would have done.
you were
anyways.
legally only
Okay.
allowed to do that maybe a year or two ago.
Wow.
Before
I
that, you
did
had
it
to
last
absorb
week.
service charges.
It's also someone who was like hyper pissing me off. So there was also that factor. And I didn't want to do what they were asking us to do. So I was like,
plant
fuck
15 shrubs.
no. Was a delivery. but it was like a delivery to like fucking Newmarket in a split bin, which means I have to first of all fish. So the split bins are so useful to us that we use them to block a weird entrance where someone could potentially drive into the yard. We use them as a gate. Whenever you need them, they're probably buried in some shit, and Cody's bin is in front of mine and or whatever. They're never in the right order. Anyways, I had to dig the bin out, first of all. Secondly, this is a client that irritates me to no end. Thirdly, I didn't want to fucking drive to Newmarket. So, and we're going to pay you with this credit card because perhaps they've had problems in the past with paying us. Perhaps. So I said, well, last time you paid us with the credit card, there was like some $60 fee. So you can fuck off. I'm not interested in this or whatever it was. And they were like, well, just charge us extra. And I was like, fucking motherfuckers. Trying really hard to not do this. Plus the guy who was on the receiving end of this material is literally one of the craziest people I've ever been around.
Do they listen to the podcast?
No.
That's good for the
He
story
doesn't
alone.
listen to anything.
Waive the service fees for the story alone.
I have the craziest story.